Liber e Obi. Not too sure if that's the name of somebody or some other name for this. The Pentateuch, which we found in the public domain, public access, and we're bringing to all for educational purposes alone. No copyright breach was intentional. This is the Pentateuch, translated into English by Abraham Benisch, and you may be wondering who the heck was he on any given Sunday. He was an English Hebraist, editor, journalist. He wrote numerous works in the domain of Judaism, biblical studies, biography and travel, and during a period of nearly 40 years contributed weekly articles to the pages of the Jewish Chronicle. He was born to Jewish parents at Drossel, Bohemia in 1811. He studied surgery in Prague about 1836, while a commentary on Ezekiel, which he had written, was being published, with a view to preparing himself for a journey to Palestine. Together with his close friends and fellow students Albert Lobi and Moritz Steinschneider, who was a Moravian bibliographer and Orientalist, he founded in 1883 the Proto-Zionist Secret Society. What's a Proto-Zionist? Proto-Zionism is a concept in historiography describing Jewish thinkers active during the second half of the 19th century who were deeply affected by the idea of modern nationalism spreading in Europe at that time. They sought to establish a Jewish homeland in the land promised by God, probably, which is where the state of Israel is today. Okay, so they were part of this Proto-Zionist secret society, Die Einheit. It looks like the one, not too sure what height is, or the highest one, not really sure what that is in German. For some years he studied medicine at the University of Vienna, but abandoned the study before proceeding to a degree. He left Austria in 1841 to settle in England, where he devoted himself to Jewish journalism and literalism. His Hebrew learning and his actively displayed devotion to Judaism secured for him a high reputation among the Jews in England. In 1854 he became editor of the Jewish Chronicle, which position he held till 1869, resuming the editorship again from 1875 till the year of his death. His editorial influence was exerted in favour of a moderate orthodoxy. He made quite a few feature of the correspondence columns of the paper. Benisch took an active part in communal affairs and helped to found several learned societies, including the Biblical Institute and its allies, the Syro-Egyptian and the Biblical Chronological Societies. These three were afterward fused into the Society of Biblical Archaeology, founded in London in 1870 by Samuel Birch to further biblical archaeology. It published a series of proceedings in which some important papers read before the Society were preserved. He zealously promoted the formation of the Society of Hebrew Literature in 1870 and of the Anglo-Jewish Association in 1871, which was a British organisation formed in 1871 for the promotion of social, moral and intellectual progress among the Jews and the obtaining of protection for those who may suffer in consequences of being Jews. Many Anglo-Jewish businessmen, etc. in 1871. He died at Hornsey on 31 July 1878. He left the copyright of the Jewish Chronicle to the Anglo-Jewish Association, which shortly after his death sold it to Israel Davis and Sidney Montagu Samuel, who's an English journalist, libertist, finance and communal worker. And this is partial bibliography, probably many that he wrote, books that he wrote, and references. The Pentateuch, translated into English from the Hebrew, and it goes right to left, like the language. Here it is. Here's the Hebrew, and here it is in English. The Pentateuch and the Haftaroth, newly translated under the supervision of the Reverend, the Chief Rabbi of the United Congregations of the British Empire, by Dr. A. Benisch. 3rd edition, the First Book of Moses, 1889. Oh, going the wrong way. The First Book of Moses, Genesis, pretty much the same as your Bible you have today, just the wording is very, very different. And it reads, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth, but the earth was desolate and void, and darkness was upon the face of the murmuring deep. See how it's different? And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters, a Spirit of God. And God said, be there light, and light was. And God saw the light, that it was good, and there's a mistake there. And God caused a division between the light and the darkness. And God called the light day, capital D, and the darkness he called night, capital N. And it was evening and it was morning, one day, small d, lowercase d. And God said, be there an expanse in the midst of waters, and let it cause a division between waters and the waters. And God made the expanse, and caused a division between the waters which were under the expanse and the waters which were above the expanse. And it was so. And God called the expanse heaven, and it was evening and it was morning, a second day. And God said, the waters shall be drawn together unto the heaven, unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, etc., etc. And we believe it got down to a part here where it actually said ant. So there's quite a few mistakes in here. Okay. But it's your basic Genesis translated into English. Okay. And goes through that creation process. And God said, we will make man in our image, after our likeness, and they shall have dominion over the flesh, over the fish of the sea, etc., etc., and so forth. Thus the heaven and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And so on the seventh day God had finished his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And he blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he rested from all his work which God had created in order to make it. So he basically didn't need to create anything else. He'd finished, right? His creating process. Okay. Okay, so it's got that one, we made man in our image. Okay, just looking for that second account where he makes man from the dust or the earth. Okay, it doesn't seem to have it. We just check that, verify that. Okay, here it is here. And the eternal God formed the man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living soul. Okay, so there's a second account there. One of in the image of God, and then the second account, man made from the ground, dust of the ground, etc. And it goes on about the Eve being created from Adam's rib, and the serpent, subtle cunning that tempted them, and they sinned, taking the fruit of the tree of life, or the tree, after they've been told not to, directly not to, commanded by God not to touch it and eat it, and so forth. Yeah, basically what your everyday Bible says, but the wording is very different. Okay, what's it here? Go back. Get back on again. Okay, here it says that Adam lived 930 years, then he died. So we're going to have a look at a modern Americanized translation. We're pretty sure it says 903. We'll just check that out. It probably does say 930 in your Americanized English versions. Just gotta find that. Okay, we're using the NIV because that's the closest one to us in our library, vast library. Try and get to it. Okay. Yeah, 930 years. Okay, there's a issue there because looking at Genesis, the original Tav Asherit, Aramaic, Lishana Atika Saprea, it actually says that he, where is it? We're trying to find it. Okay, it's in the next chapter. That he had a lineage of 930 years, or 903 years. He didn't live that long. Yeah. We've already covered it in one of our other videos. Probably Genesis or Brita Made Simple. Okay. Okay, pretty interesting book. Okay, it's going through all the genealogy list. Descendants of the sons of Noah, Ham, etc. Not too bad a translation. Okay, go back there. Just saw something there. Oh, it's Kenite. We thought it was Chemite, like Kemet, you know. In the same day the Eternal God made a covenant with Abraham, saying, Unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates, the Kenite, and the Kenizzite, and the Kadmonite, etc., etc. goes into the story of Abraham and Sarah, Hagar, Ishmael, and so forth, as your everyday Bible does. Okay, we want to have a look at Exodus. Okay, trying to skip forward to that. Maybe we can jump forward here. Hopefully not going backwards. Okay, we believe we're going in the right direction. Hopefully we are. Don't seem to be getting any closer to Exodus. What is this? Haftaroth of Vayera. What is that? Okay, that's Kings. Maybe we've gone too far forward. It's Genesis. It's kind of hard when the thing goes the opposite way. The book goes the opposite way. Right. 25. You're going the wrong way. Keep going that way. It's something we want to look at in Exodus. If it doesn't take us forever to get there, seeing as we're going the opposite way. From right to left instead of left to right. Come on. Get there soon, hopefully. Oh man, still trying to get there without missing it. Many weeks later. We're still in Genesis. Oh, trying hard to get to Exodus. So it must be this way. The Haftaroth of the first book of Moses. Okay, so it must just cover the book of Genesis. Doesn't actually go to Exodus by the look of it. We can't seem to get there. You go back that way. So it looks like it finishes at the book of Genesis, or Bereshith, and then goes into the Haftaroth. Which seems to be based around the book of Isaiah. 2 Kings. Okay, so 1 Kings. Malachi. Haftaroth of Toledoth Yitzchak. Hosea, according to the Sephardim. Haftarah of Vayetze, Hosea 12, 13 to 15, etc., according to the Ashkenazim. Obadiah and his vision. Amos. Very interesting. This must be certain rituals, etc., that the Hebrews, the Jews, perform by looking at it. Okay, this seems to all be in Hebrew there. Zechariah 2, 14 to 17. And Sabbaths. Haftarah of second Sabbath Chanukah. Maybe somebody out there that's a practicing Jew can give us some info on all of this. Enlighten us on all of this. What they actually are, these Sabbaths, Rosh, Hodesh, etc. Looks very interesting. The morning prayers sabbatical. The 13 articles of faith. Morning service. 1. Extolled be the living God and praised. He existeth, but his existence no time can bound. So you have no idea of when or how long he's existed. Two, he is a unity, but there is no unity besides him. He is inconceivable, and the being of his unity is unending. So what does that mean? He is a unity, but there is no unity besides him. He is inconceivable, and the being of his unity is unending. He is no material form without similitude, and incomparable is his holiness. He is the creator of all beings. He is the first. Nothing existed before him. He is the Lord of the universe, and all his creations avow his greatness and splendour. 6. The gift of prophecy did he bestow on the men of his choice, the predictors of his glory. 7. There never arose a prophet in Israel like Moses, who beheld the Lord's countenance. 8. The law of truth hath the Lord given unto his people through the hand of his prophet, who proved the most faithful to his house. 9. This law God will never change nor alter for any other whilst time shall be. So that's why the Jews are bound to those covenants of the Sabbath, circumcision, and Passover, and so forth. 10. He beholdeth and knoweth all our secrets, and vieweth the end of a thing before its beginning. He bestoweth kindness upon man according to his deeds, and visits wicked deeds on the bad according to his wickedness. Yeah, so that's probably why we received a lot of blessings. Unbelievable things happen. People pay for our shopping. People pay for our McDonald's. Found money in the gutter, something like that, you know. All these sort of things. Yeah, very, very relatable there. And it says here, look at this. At the end of days he will send Messiah to redeem those who hope for his salvation. The dead will God restore to life in his great mercy. Blessed be his sacred name forevermore. It's a pity it didn't have, like, it actually says, you know, Son of God or something like that, so to indicate, well, that's the Christ, right? Okay, because obviously Jews will say, no, this is a different kind of Messiah, you know, like, yeah, as these rabbis do often say. This is interesting. B.A.T.O.E. They split this out. Wow, that's interesting. Wonder what that means. Maybe somebody out there can help us. We really don't know anything about this particular book and these wordings. What's meant here? Why have they got that name like that? Would be really interesting to know. So let us know in the comments if you're a practicing Jew. Want to share that with us? That'd be great. So we have a better understanding, right, of your religion and your practices. This is very interesting. Maybe this is the Ark of the Covenant. The hymn of glory. The Ark is opened and the following hymn is repeated in the same manner as the former. Oh, this is really interesting. Hopefully you're not going the wrong way. We were going the right way, I think. Get near to the end, towards the end of the book. Wow, what an interesting book. You're wondering why they have like this F.H.M.E.F.E. It's quite bewildering to us. So if you could help us out, if you're a practicing Jew, that would be really great. We really appreciate that. If you like this video, for whatever reason, click on the like button, subscribe to our channel, add your comments below as we are requesting, tell us if you're a practicing Jew, what all these different things that we've come across actually mean, right? Because obviously we don't know this language, we don't know this religion, and we're genuinely interested in what this is all saying, all these morning services and whatever's within this book.